Hello everybody. Welcome back to another Dragon Ball Legends video. And it is time for Divinity. My favorite character in Dragon Ball right here. Goku Black. Super Saiyan Rose Goku Black. My favorite character. Like always, we're gonna get into this real quick. You can try to go through it super duper fast. And no bullshitting, alright? Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and let's get into this. Strengths. Number 1 new feature. No special cover changing. For 15 timer counts after battle starts, as well as when you max out the unique gauge, enemies will be prevented from special cover changing. That means any character will be able to go onto the offense without having to worry about enemy special cover changes. Not only that, but it's an effect that can't be cancelled with cancel abnormal conditions effect. Number 2, Super Saiyan Rose transformation. Use the main ability to transform and get a big boost to damage inflicted. Plus, this ability grants a buff that nullifies enemy special cover changes, making it easy to use in the middle of a combo. Excellent defensive abilities. Goku Black has a unique gauge that charges each time this character is hit by an enemy's arts. Max it out to destroy your enemy's cards and reduce their ki. Plus activate an endurance effect that destroys your opponent's entire hand when it reaches 0. Drown the world in radiant rose-colored despair with Legends Limited Goku Black. Goku Black, he's element yellow. Tag Saiyan future powerful opponent from the Future Saga. Let us go. Future God Ki powerful opponent, strike and blast defense and 18% to tag future base strike attack during battle. No. Oh man. Has a strike arts card that reduces the enemy's health restoration on hit. And then they don't have it hit. And they don't have it here. Cool. Blast has a blast arts that restores own health when used. Doesn't have it here. Cool. Love that. It's great, man. It's awesome. Cool. Special move. Inflict the enemy with heavy bleed on hit. If the unique gauge is full, you'll even nullify enemy endurance effects. Deals massive explode damage plus 30% of special move damage inflicted for 3 timer counts upon activation. 100% of damage inflicted. 100% chance to inflict heavy bleed on hit. If unique gauge is full, resets own unique gauge to 0 and applies the following effects upon activation. Or no, the following effects occur upon activation. Sorry. Plus 30% damage to special move damage inflicted for 3 timer counts. Nullifies enemies restore health when it reaches 0 effects when this character attacks for 3 timer counts. Inflicts all enemies with attribute downgrade minus 30% to restore health restoration for 5 timer counts. Blast arm on charging forward. It's another goddamn fucking melee. Oh my god, every one of these has melees. It's so annoying. Green card, a special arts card that can nullify strike arts and various forward charging attacks. If you manage to nullify an attack, reduce the enemy's vanishing gauge to 0 and reduce their ki by 100 for an instant chance to go for a counter attack. Oh my god, so it's the exact opposite of Vegito. Applies the following effects herself upon activation. Restores health by 10%. Nullifies unfavorable element factors for damage sustained for 10 timer counts. Nullifies enemies' tap actions, strike arts, and most forward charging and other special move and special arts while in fighting pose. What the fuck? So he nullifies special moves as well? The following effects occur if attacks are nullified. Randomly draws at most 4 new cards when you have 3 or fewer. Restores own ki by 50. Plus 30% of damage inflicted for 15 timer counts. Reduces enemy's vanishing gauge to 0. Activates once. Reduces enemy ki by 100. Activates once. And inflicts all enemies with 3 sub counts. Activates once. That's sad. Like, why couldn't it why couldn't it say, like, at the bottom that it resets every time he switches? I think that'd be fine. Main ability, transform into Super Saiyan Rose. Restore a bunch of health and ki while also gaining a buff that nullifies enemies' special cover changes. Transform into Super Saiyan Rose. Restores own health by 30% and ki by 50. Applies buff effect. Nullifies enemy special actions that activate when changing cover to self for 10 timer counts. Cancels own attribute downgrades in abnormal conditions. Requirements: 20 timer counts must elapse. Unique ability 1. Inflict all enemies with no special cover changing at battle start. Goku Black has incredible defenses. Just by entering the battlefield, nullify unfavorable element factors for damage sustained. Get a reduction to impact and slice damage received, and reduce all enemy special move, ultimate, and awakened arts power. If the enemy uses an ultimate arts, awakened arts, or rising rush while Goku Black is on the battlefield, cancel enemy buff effects. Also, you'll be able to use this character to withstand your opponent's biggest attacks. The following effects occur when battles start. Plus 150% damage inflicted. Reduces damage received by 70%. 70% to own key recovery. Increases own arts card draw speed by 1 level. -5 to own arts costs. Inflict all enemy with no special cover changing for 15 timer counts. Everything but that last part cannot be cancelled. The following effects occur when this character enters the battlefield. It randomly draws 1 new card when you have 3 or fewer cards. Restores own health by 15%. Activates 3 times. Activation count is shared between... God, why do I keep saying between? It's shared before and after transforming. Restores own ki by 30. Plus 70% of damage inflicted cannot be cancelled. Activates once. Reduces impact and slice damage received by 10% for 10 timer counts. Cannot be cancelled. Nullifies own unfavorable element factors for damage sustained for 10 timer counts. Inflicts all enemies with attribute downgrade -20% to special move, ultimate, and awakened arts power for 15 timer counts. Just because he exists. That's awesome. He gets all of this just because he exists. Because you're not going to get this unless he's on the battlefield. Applies the following effects itself upon landing a strike or blast arts hit. Activates once. Restores ki by 30. Plus 30% of damage inflicted for 10 timer counts. Activation resets. Okay. Activation count resets after this character switches. Okay. That's so dumb. Cancels enemy buff effects when they activate an ultimate arts, awakened arts, or rising rush while this character is on the battlefield. Activates twice. Activation count is shared between before and after transforming. God. So he has the Super 7, or not Super 17, the MVP 17 ability. Shortens on sum count by 5 when enemy activates an ultimate arts, awakened arts, or rising rush while this character is on standby. Oh, so he wants to take it. Okay. He wants that. He wants it so bad. Give it to him. He wants the pain. This pain will only make me stronger. Has a special cover change against strike arts. Recovers 20% of the damage received when an enemy attack is over. If your health reaches 0, activate an endurance effect and destroy all of your opponent's cards. Okay, the unique gauge will be charged greatly whenever Goku Black is hit by an enemy arts attack. What does that remind me of? That Gohan. When it's fully charged, inflict all enemies with no special cover changing. I don't remember if it's the purple Gohan or the red one, because we have so many fucking new Gohans, but one of the Gohans has an ability that when he gets hit, his unique gauge goes up fast. I think it'll take about... Oh no, Baby. Baby does it as well. I think Super Baby too. Probably, I think about 3 to 4 hits is what's going to be needed to fill his unique gauge up then. Knocks enemy back to long range if a cover change is performed against their strike arts attack. Activates during assists, comboable with a special move exactly the same as Vegito's. The following effects occur when own health reaches 0, activates once, restores own health by 30%, cancels own attribute downgrades in abnormal conditions, destroys all of your enemies' cards. Activation count is shared before and after transforming. I can't wait until they do this thing where the following effects are when this endurance shit happens twice. That's gonna happen soon. I can taste it in the air. It's gonna happen soon. I want it to be on a metal cooler because he's supposed to get like better every time he dies. Anyways, back to the actual character. Sorry. Greatly charges own unique gauge every time when hit with an enemy's arts attack while this character is on the battlefield. The following effects occur once unique gauge is full: restores own health by 20%, shortens own ally sub count by 2, randomly destroys 2 enemy cards, reduces enemy ki by 50, inflicts all enemies with no special cover changing for 15 timer counts. Does that like lock them in, or is it just like if they? I don't know. We really have to get into the game to see how that fucking works. I don't know how that works. The following effects occur when enemy switches characters while this character is on the battlefield. Okay, that answered that question. Restores own health by 5%. Inflicts enemies with attribute downgrade plus 10 to all arts costs for 10 timer counts. Inflicts all enemies with attribute downgrade minus 1 to arts card draw speed level for 5 timer counts. Applies the following effects to self after enemy attack is over. Restores 20% of damage received up to 20% of own health, and 30% of damage inflicted for 15 timer counts cannot be cancelled. Super Saiyan Rose Goku Black. All of this should be the same. Now he has armor, and inflicts 100% chance to inflict extreme bleed on hit. Holy fuck. And inflicts enemy with attribute downgrade plus 10% of damage received. I think this is what the original one's supposed to have too, so whatever. Special move! Restore the vanishing gauge by 100% upon activating a special move arts, one time only. Oh boy! It's 3 AM! You'll now nullify enemies' endurance effects when the unique gauge isn't full as well. 30% damage, 3 timer counts, restores vanishing gauge by 100%, nullifies enemies' restore health when it reaches 0 effect when this character attacks for 3 timer counts, applies the following effect to enemy on hit, inflicts attribute downgrade plus 10 to all arts costs, 100% chance to inflict extreme bleed. If unique gauge is full, resets on unique gauge to 0, and the following effects occur upon activation. Plus 30% to special move damage inflicted for 3 timer counts, inflicts all enemies with attribute downgrade minus 50% to health restoration for 5 timer counts, blast armor when charging forward. God fucking damn it, why can't we get more beams? Green card. Holy shit, that's a big green card. Gain a buff that nullifies enemy special cover change on hit. When the unique gauge is at its max, restore own health and shorten the substitution count of your allies. Gosh, sorry. I woke up like an hour before the reveals and stuff happened. Applies the following effects to self upon activation. Randomly draws 1 new card, restores ki by 50. The following effects occur on hit. Plus 20% of damage inflicted, applies the buff effect, nullifies enemies' special actions that activate when changing cover to self for 10 timer counts. Inflicts enemies with attribute downgrade, minus 50% to health restoration for 5 timer counts, comboable with everything. If unique gauge is full, resets on unique gauge to 0, and does the following: restores on health by 10%, applies attribute upgrade, minus 15% to enemies' sustained damage cut effects to self for 10 timer counts, shortens ally sub count by 2. The main charge the unique gauge to by 100% and nullify unfavorable element factors. Draw special move arts card next. Restores own health by 20% and ki by 50. Charges on unique gauge by 100%. Cancels on attribute downgrades in abnormal conditions. Nullifies own unfavorable element factors for 10 timer counts. Requirements: 15 timer counts must elapse. Oh my gosh. So both Vegito and Goku Black both have a main ability that gives them an additional vanishing gauge. But Vegito has 2. Didn't one of these have 2 as well? Yeah, right here. His blue. So Goku Black's blue card will give him back his vanishing gauge. That's crazy. Okay, where were we? Not here. The fuck? I think we were right here. Get a large buff to damage inflicted when you transform, and also reduce all enemies' health restoration by 50%. Don't give your opponent any chance to get back in the fight. The following effects occur after transforming. Plus 40% to damage inflicted, plus 60% to own key recovery, plus 20% to own health restoration for 30 timer counts. Cannot be cancelled for all of those. Inflicts all enemies with attribute downgrade, minus 50% to health restoration for 5 timer counts. That can be cancelled. The following effects occur when this character enters the battlefield. Randomly draws 1 new card when you have 3 or fewer. Restores own health by 15%. Activates 3 times. Activation count is shared before and after transforming. Restores own key by 30. Reduces impact and slice damage received by 10% for 10 timer counts that cannot be cancelled. Nullifies own unfavorable element factors for damage sustained for 10 timer counts. Inflicts all enemies with attribute downgrades minus 30% to special move, ultimate, and awakened arts power for 15 timer counts. Applies the following effect to self upon landing a strike or blast arts hit. Activates once. Restores on key by 30 plus 40% damage inflicted for 10 timer counts. Resets when switch. Cancels enemy buff effects when enemy activates an ultimate, arts, awakened arts, or rising rush while this character is on the battlefield. Activates twice. Shared between transformings. And shortens on sum count by 5 when the enemy activates those ultimate arts, awakened arts, or rising rush while he is on standby. After transforming, this character will have a special cover change against blast arts instead of strike arts. Oh boy, I love it when they do that. Oh my fucking god. Okay. Filling up the unique gauge to max will now nullify unfavorable element factors for damage sustained and reduce your opponent's Dragon Balls. Knockback to long range. Knocks enemy back to long range if a cover change is performed against their blast arts attack, comboable with a special move. The following effects occur when own health reaches 0, activates once, restores own health by 30. We already had all this. Okay. Greatly charges on unique gauge. We had all that. The following effects occur. I think it's just this bottom part, right? No, I think it's the bottom half of this. Greatly charges when he's hit. Once the unique gauge is full, resets to 0, and the following effects occur. Restores own health by 25%. Nullifies own unfavorable element factors for damage sustained for 10 timer counts. Shortens ally sub count by 2. Randomly destroys 2 enemy cards. Reduces enemy key by 50. Reduces enemy Dragon Balls by 1. Activates twice. Okay. Vegito had a destroy Dragon Balls, but that was only once. Inflicts all enemies with no special cover changing for 15 timer counts. The following effects occur when enemy switches while this character is on the battlefield. Restore on health by 5%. Inflicts enemy with attribute downgrade plus 10 to all arts cost. Inflicts all enemy with attribute downgrade minus 1 to arts card draw speed level for 5 timer counts. Applies the following effect to self after enemy attack is over. Restores 20% of damage received up to 20% of own health plus 40% of damage inflicted for 15 timer counts. Cannot be cancelled. Is that different? Is it not different from the other one? Yeah. The first one was 30%. This one is 40%. Alright. Well. Divinity, if you will. After going through his entire kit, I can say that I am more impressed with Vegito's. Sorry about all the dogs in the background. I have four of them at the house. But I guess that's a good place to say Goku Black's probably going to be worse than Vegito, but that's just to be expected. Vegito's a fusion, he's not. But I personally am going to summon for Goku Black first. And yeah, I'll make sure to post another video on whether you should summon or not. It's going to be a short because it's really not that hard to say yes. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!